From the morning mist came a sound in the distance, nothing but an old freight train, and he's rolling along like the rhythm to his song. That long and lonesome old freight train, that long and lonesome old freight train. What a feeling in me watching cars from Tennessee down below that Dixon line, singing brakeman's on the loose, dreaming out from his caboose. That long and lonesome old freight train, that long and lonesome old freight train. I passed him on the run, on the way to Binghamton, Allentown and Philadelphia, Ilion and New York, on the way to Spencerport. Came home beside that old freight train, that long and lonesome old freight train. From the morning mist came a sound in the distance, nothing but an old freight train, and he's rolling along like the rhythm to his song. That long and lonesome old freight train, that long and lonesome old freight train, that long and lonesome old freight train, Lord, that long and lonesome old freight train. Well, that's close, I guess. We're live. Hey, welcome to Laid Back and Live, almost, meaning we're not together. I'm live. Hopefully you're live. Otherwise, somebody's using your computer. Hope everybody's good. I'm not going to talk much this time. I'm just going to play some tunes and try to get through this first YouTube live streaming deal, and hope you all are good. Let me take my headphones off. It turned 4:30 on me, and I almost feel like the vocals are a little too loud, so I'm going to turn that down a little bit. And my name is Jim Hurst, and my mother's favorite son, although my younger brother Larry wouldn't agree to it. We grew up in a musical family. And it started, actually, with Mom and Dad. Dad, particularly, and my Uncle Eldon. There's many people in my family that has been part of our musical heritage. When I say heritage, I mean in my family. And it comes from a lot of different musical backgrounds, from the Carter family and, singing brakeman, Jimmy Rogers. A lot of different folks that influenced my dad and also influenced my mother and my Uncle Eldon. But growing up in Toledo, Ohio, there wasn't a whole lot of mountain music up there. I was born in Kentucky. But one day, Mom and Dad was sitting in the kitchen on the house in north end of Toledo on Superior Street. It's 1963 is what Mom said that this song was written. And it kind of is a throwback to me about what kind of music they left behind when they did, like a lot of folks, and moved to Ohio for jobs and schooling, that mass exodus for jobs. So I'll do this song that was written by Mom and Dad, and I helped out a little bit and recorded it on my Intrepid CD because my son and daughter, Brandon and Crystal, they encouraged me to go ahead and do this song. So I'll do this one for you with my parents in mind. And it's kind of a 2-chord wonder, I call it. And it's kind of a sad song with a little bit of hope at the end. So I hope you enjoy Through the Garden. Once you were my sweetheart, darling, in our blissful childhood days. But then we had to part, dear. You have gone so far away. We wandered out through the garden, and all the flowers were in bloom. There you whispered how you loved me underneath that golden moon. When you left, I got so lonely, I thought my heart would break in two. Don't you know I love you only, there is no other one but you. We wandered out through the garden, and all the flowers were in bloom. There you whispered how you loved me underneath that golden moon. I hope that you're not gone forever, and that we may meet someday. Oh, I know we'd be so happy. I pray the Lord will let it be. We wandered out through the garden, and all the flowers were in bloom. There you whispered how you loved me underneath that golden moon. Through the Garden, written by Ed and Frances Hurst. Actually, the byline says Frances Hurst because Dad passed away back in 1975, and of course we couldn't give him any credit. He wouldn't get the money anyway. And what I understand is that Mom wouldn't get the money either. So we took Dad off the byline. But that's that Carter family kind of style of guitar playing that Dad used to do. And it's amazing that I never didn't appreciate my dad's guitar playing or singing, but as I got older, I got to go back and visit some old recordings of him playing guitar and singing, and he was something else, man. I mean, everybody wants to talk about their dads or their moms or their sisters or brothers, and I understand that. But you know, the thing about my dad was he never really did it outside the house. He did it at home. I'm doing it at home too. This is my display of guitars. Of course, I'm going to take them down and put them back in the vault as soon as this is over. I don't want anybody coming here and taking them away from me. You know what I'm saying? But I've been lucky working with different builders of guitars, and a couple things have been given to me. I got some things in trade. If I had to buy all these guitars, I wouldn't have been able to do it. Matter of fact, the one I'm playing right here is the Jim Hurst model Gallagher guitar, which is a shout out to Gallagher Guitars. Not only Don Gallagher and his family who started it in 1965, but also David Mathis and his crew down in Murfreesboro, who took over a couple years ago, and they're back at it. So you're also listening to my Fishman. I don't know if you can see that. You're listening to my Fishman electronics on my guitar. It's the Fishman Aura Pro system, and I really like the way it sounds. I hope you guys like it, and I'll get to your comments here in a minute. Looks like we got some people in here, so howdy to everybody. It's I think my cousin's in there too. I got some relations. I guess some of y'all probably related to me somewhere, whether you want to admit it or not. But that first song was written by my friend up in Canada, Chris Cuddy. And actually, I've been talking to him recently. He sent me another CD of his. And I get some songs that I record because of that. So Chris, howdy, if you're there. Hope you all are well up there. It's cold. It's not as hot up there as it is here, and it's usually colder in the winter. But right now, I don't know if I'd mind being up there, if you know what I mean. But speaking of writing songs, Chris is a really good writer, and he wrote Long and Lonesome Old Freight Train, which I recorded, like I said, on Intrepid, as well as Through the Garden, which is also on Intrepid. The next song I'm going to do is on a Pine Castle project called Second Son, and I co-wrote this with my buddy Steve Hilton. I don't know if Steve's in there, but if you are, hello, Steve, and thank you for helping out on these songs. We've written many songs together, and this is one of my favorites, and it seems to be one of the ones that folks seem to like out of all that I've done. It was released in 2002, and it spent some time on the bluegrass charts. It's a fictitious song about a fictitious mine, coal mine, a deep coal mine, but written from the perspective of mining families. Steve's mining family comes from Beckley, West Virginia, and my mining family comes from around Pearl, Kentucky, and Pruden, Tennessee, the Pruden coal mines. So hope you enjoy Stephen's Deep Coal Mines. In 1895, the coal mines came alive, bringing hope to the mountain folk and their kin. They prayed every day, and blessings came their way. They saw it as the coming of a friend. But there's secrets buried deep within the mountains, according to Widow Ballantyne. She told me of the day, and it starts out this way, when they open the Stevens Deep Coal Mines. It always grieves me so to think about that hole, the very place my daddy lost his life. In veins 3 foot high, they worked by carbide light, toiled in the dark so we could heat the night. The timbers cracked, it's caving, boys, and it all fell down upon them. And those who lived will remember for all times. Miners paid the cost, many lives were lost, sacrificed for the Stevens Deep Coal Mine. Now it's all so plain, they worked right through the pain, but they didn't see the coal dust in the air. And on their hands and knees and hurting swollen feet, how could they know that black lung lingered there? But men are tools made to use to gather up the treasure, and not to count the days or mark the time. When all the veins ran dry, they came out toward the skies, and they closed down the Stevens Deep Coal Mine. It's all been left alone. You never would have known, except for the scars and the people and the scars on the mountainside. There's nothing left to fear, and the rivers all run clear. The rattlesnakes have many a place to hide, but there's hope that someday history will remember what was gained at such an awful price. The only things that remain are the blood, sweat, and the names of the workers in the Stevens deep coal mines. Almost made the chime. That's the way it's supposed to be in. Anyway, that's one of my favorite songs to do, although naked, doing it by myself, I miss all the other instruments that's on the recording. But you know what? It's okay. You guys are hearing almost live, laid back and almost, and live. Laid back and live, almost. So if you like what you're hearing, guys, do me a favor and go down there to subscribe. Like what you're hearing. If you don't like it, put your thumbs down. Tell me why. Let me know what's going on. This is my first time doing the Facebook Live thing. The first time was Facebook. This is the first time with YouTube Go Live, and I'm happy to be here. And what it takes for me to be able to do better, as far as the ability to work on things like this, is if you give me a bunch of likes and thumbs up, but also subscribes and comments, and if you can set that reminder so that the next time I do it, you'll get notification. And I appreciate all of you being here. Let me see if I can look at some of these comments while I suck some wind. Well, Nate Oakes, the man, thank you for the comments. That means a lot, buddy. Wayne Metters with a couple of claps. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Lynn Wu, I'm smoking today. Yeah, well, thank you. It's easy for me to throw compliments off, and my wife tells me, hey, just say thank you. So thank you. But it's hot here. Hopefully it's not that hot up there wherever you are. Let's see, what else we got? Can't make out. Rick and Kit Crump, a couple of friends of mine over in near Lebanon, Tennessee. Hi, guys. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for being here and appreciate your comments. Mark Johnson, thank you, sir. That's what I can see for right now. I don't want to take up too much time because I do have to stop at right at 5:30. So this will be about an hour. And I'm going to do a lot of my own material, guys, because as I said in my Facebook Live event a couple of months ago, I guess now, I'm concerned about copyright infringement or piracy, if you will. If I've recorded them, I don't feel so bad. I don't feel too guilty about doing them, but there's songs that I love to do that come from other people or whatever. But I want to do a lot of my own things, and hope you like what you hear. And if you have any comments, please feel free. As far as the quality of everything, the sound of everything, the look. I don't have really any lights in here. It's just the outside lights and one room light. I figured, I did it before, and the ring that I have put like rings in my glasses, and it kind of was distracting, so I didn't like it either. Let's see. Here's a song that I wrote in 2005, actually, 2005, and it was not long after Judy and I moved up to Glasgow, Kentucky, out of Fairview, Tennessee. We moved to Nashville in '88, and we lived around different parts of Nashville. After the kids got grown and moved out to start their lives, Judy and I moved up to Kentucky. I've always wanted to live there, even though I was born there. I grew up in Ohio and then moved to Nashville. I went down south in the mountains of Kentucky and Tennessee every summer for in between school sessions, and loved playing in the, finding water dogs, swimming in strip mine holes and things like that with my cousins and my brothers. It's a lot of fun. But sitting on the front porch of our home up there in Glasgow, Kentucky, I actually wrote 5 songs this day, and this was one that I wrote actually on this small body rock bridge, which is right here. That small body rock bridge I got, and I love it, and it just, I don't know, brought it out of me, and hope you enjoy this. Of course, I recorded on my CD with the help of Mark Schatz, Daniel Carwile, Steve Smith, and of course myself. But this is a Kentucky Sunrise Waltz, and if you've any of you been in Kentucky, especially kind of anywhere in the state of any states, there's beautiful places everywhere. But there's some places that are just memorable, and this was based on an early morning sitting there. It was beautiful. Hope you enjoy the original version of Kentucky Sunrise Waltz. You know, sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug. That's one of my favorite tunes. But it's what it is. It's live. That means it's not perfect. That means it's not in the studio, and I didn't play it 14 times. I just played it that one time. So you can see that the big-headed boy here ain't that great every time, but that song is a pretty forgiving, and even if you play it a little sloppy or not quite as precise, or you miss a couple things, it's not a big deal. And I'll shut up being self-deprecating because my wife and my daughter and my son will beat me up about it. I write as much as I can. This next one is a song that was recorded on a trio CD that I did with Nate Lee and Eric Alvar. At the time, it was called the Jim Hurst Trio. We do have a Jim Hurst Trio. I do have one, but the personnel has changed it a couple of times. This CD was, I think it was released in 16. Might have been 17. I can't remember the dates, but it was a fun project, and I wrote 8 of the 11 songs on there. And this is the one that I was on my way to a music camp up in Michigan, and it was it's a statement about musicians leave home and go do their thing. They leave their family, they leave their wives or husbands, they leave their children, they leave their parents and sisters and brothers and friends to go and be with other friends. And one thing about it is it's like when you're on the road, I have so much fun. Matter of fact, I've been missing it. I haven't played a gig since middle of March, and so I'm a little rusty, but it feels good to be home. I'm safe. My wife and I don't have the vid, as I call it, the COVID, and I'm thankful for that. And I hate when folks do get sick, whether it be that or whatever. So I'm going to send this out to all you road musicians and all those you who are safe at home and bored to death. I wrote this with my buddy Jack Shannon. Started writing it on the road, and he helped me finish it. So I hope you enjoy it. How's this go? Yesterday truly was a blessing, spending time together, me and you. Moments like these are fast and fleeting, far between and oh so very few. Here we are, another dawn is breaking, and it's so hard to tear ourselves apart. 'Cause when I'm gone, I always have you with me, 'cause you're the rhythm of my beating heart. Whining, crying, the highway sings to me a lonesome song. Trying, crying, to find a way not to be gone so long. I think about you every waking minute, and just as soon as my last job is through, like an Indy car with me sitting in it, I'm on my way back home to you. I love what I do to make a living. Another song reminds me again. Wake me up, I might still be dreaming. Sometimes this guitar is my best friend, and maybe it's a foregone conclusion. It won't last forever's what I'm told, but quitting is just the same as losing, and I'll keep searching for my pot of gold. Whining, crying, the highway sings to me a lonesome song. Driving, trying to find a way not to be gone so long. I think about you every waking minute, and just as soon as my last job is through, like an Indy car with me sitting in it, I'm on my way back home to you. always seems to me a lonesome song. Driving, trying to find a way not to be gone so long. Looking for the haystack through the needle. It's so hard I don't know what I'll do, but it feels good to know you're waiting for me, and I'm on my way back home to you. I'm longing to have you here beside me, so I'm on my way back home to you. Well, there you go. On my way back home to you. And, Jack and I were talking about it. I said, how can we make it sound like we're moving home quickly? He said, what about if you're sitting in an Indy car? And I'm thinking, well, probably take a long time to go home when you're going round and around and around and around. But anyway, the idea is there. I'm going to have some fun with the song. I'm feeling a little pensive here, a little tight, if you know what I mean. Matter of fact, the COVID has caused all my clothes to shrink. Are you guys like that too? It's like I hung up clothes in the closet. They fit fine. 4 months later. Let's see what else is on here. Gary McClary, thank you, brother. Charles Adamek, thank you, sir. And David from Gallagher Guitar. Yes, sir. Thank you, Lynn and Rick. I'm sorry, Rick and Rick. I saw Lynn here too. Hearts from Lynn Wu. Thank you, sir. Or ma'am. I don't know who Lynn is, but anyway, I try to write songs, and if I can't write them, what I end up doing is kind of borrowing from them. And so I was sitting around one day. So I'll do my version of I think it may have been Bob Wills who wrote the Panhandle Rag. And of course, I can't play fiddle. I'm not Bob Wills nor any of those Texas swing specialists like Shorty, Texas Shorty, and all those guys and girls. So I'm going to do my version, and I call this the Panhandle Glide. Sit back, have yourself a little sup of something, and enjoy this. I hope I can get through it. Panhandle Glide. Just kind of farting around. Sorry. Pooting around. Sorry. Messing around. Anyway, something like that. Let's see. What's here? Next. The next song in the arrangement of Jim Hurst today. Sign up on my mailing list. You'll know more about this too. JimHurst.com is www.jimhurst.com is my website. If you go to the front page, you can see what's in my calendar is this right now, and maybe one a little bit later in the year. Everything else has been canceled or postponed until next year. But you'll see that. You'll see some videos that I've done that someone else has recorded or I've had recorded or whatever. You'll see my mailing list sign up. All you have to do is put your email address in there and click join, and then you'll get an email that says, hey, did you mean to sign up on Jim's mailing list? Really? And I think you might like my newsletters, and if you don't, there's a nice unsubscribe button at the bottom. So when you get that email, you'll have to confirm that you want it, and then I'll be communicating with you. I just sent out a real quick one, I think it was yesterday or day before, about this YouTube Go Live concert, or whatever you want to call this. And so do that. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you like it, put the thumbs up. If you don't, you can do that if you want. I'm glad you guys are in the chat room, but if you want to send me some comments, Facebook, I don't know why I keep saying Facebook. I guess because that's what I've been thinking about. But YouTube goes by how many subscribers and likes you have and comments. So That's one of my originals called Swamp Reed that a lot of folks have requested over the years, and it's one of my favorite songs to do. The head of it is the same, pretty much everything. In other words, the idea of the da ba da da, but then I kind of mess with it. It's what's a good thing about having your own tune, I guess. Um, it's written in tribute to Jerry Reed, which is him and Chet Atkins, Tony Rice, Doc Watson, Clarence White, Mother Maybelle Carter, my dad, my older brother Albie. They've been influencing me for a long, long time. And I wrote that as a tribute to Jerry Reed. He grew up in Georgia, spent times in the swamp. He had that funky playing, so I wrote that for him. Got to do that song at the Jerry Reed Celebration Tribute concert last year. And it was pretty awesome, although it was pretty nerve-wracking sitting in front of a band of superstar musicians that had played with Jerry Reed over the years. And so all these guys are sitting back there, and Jerry's daughter, Sedina, was there, and some other wonderful, talented people like Tom Bresch and some young thumbs, I think, is what John Knowles calls a bunch of people, that young kids that he's been playing with. And so it really kind of nerve-wracking, but it was fun to do it, and it was an honor to do that for Jerry Reed. And if you don't know about Jerry, look him up. And he's spelt R-E-E-D. I got time for a couple more here. And I'm a Christian, and this is not a preaching thing, but I think all of us are going through some pretty tough times right now with this COVID thing and social distancing and political arguments and voting issues and all these different things. And I know one thing: if I wasn't a Christian, if I wasn't saved by the grace and a follower of Jesus and believing on Him, I don't know how anybody gets through this world with that. But I'll do this song. I was in a music camp in Alabama, and I came up with this one. Actually, it was handed to me, I believe, through the open window of a cabin in near Birmingham, Alabama, at a music camp there. And it was a beautiful wee hours of the morning after a full day of teaching and hearing some talented people and seeing some artists do their crafts at that camp. And this song, I was sitting there, and it just came to me almost clear as a bell. I don't really want to say too much because I don't want to jeopardize the song itself. But this is called Impressions, and what I do is I ask people if we're listening to the song, if you have a vision or if you think of some emotion or something, that you can share that with me at jim@jimhurst.com. That's my email. Anyway, this is Impressions. I should not have started that medley. Anyway, it's fingerstyle medley. That bunch of different songs that I grew up listening to and had a lot of fun playing and learning, and I'm still learning, still trying to play them. That's what you do when you follow up people like, Doc Watson, Elizabeth Cotton, Merle Travis, Chet Atkins, Jerry Reed, so many others. You follow in their footsteps, and some people can do it a whole lot better than I do it, but it's all out of homage and respect and thank you to all the legends that came along before us. And I just had a lot of fun as a child setting that needle back on that 33 LP and trying to figure all that stuff out. And my hands are for some reason sticky, and I got time for one more, folks. I really appreciate y'all being here for me. Thank you. I hope to do this again more often. I'm going to try to change up the time. Last time I did, I think, 11 in the morning Central, and then 8 o'clock Central. This time was 4:30. Trying to hit different times in my calendar so that people from different parts of the world, like in Italy, I had some folks that were listening in when I did the 11 o'clock in the morning, because that's like, I don't know, in some parts of Europe, that's like, 11, that's like 6 o'clock their time, something like that. And of course, on the West Coast, it's 9 in the morning. On the East Coast, that's 12 o'clock noon. But this time, 4:30, I'll probably do another one at some point. I would like to do one once a week, but now that I've kind of figured out the equipment, including this mic, I'm going through a PreSonus USB 96 unit with this PreSonus mic. It's an M7 mic. I've got an iPhone as a camera. I've got OBS and my MacBook Pro, and it's fun to try to do what I do anyway. But then you start throwing technical stuff at me. That's where danger shows up. And the robot over there says, "Danger, Will Robinson, danger." So anyway, hope you're well, and I hope you're staying safe. I request that y'all wear masks when you go out in public. Obviously, it's a personal choice. I think it's okay to be err on the side of safety and sanitary, and be careful for those around you. The only thing I thought about, I think I saw it posted somewhere on Facebook or something, that people who read lips that are hearing challenged, that's wearing masks is not a good thing for them. But if they let me know, I'll pull it down as long as I'm 6 feet away, and I'll talk slowly or whatever. I wish I know how to. I used to know some sign language, but I don't do that. Anyway, I appreciate you being here. I want to thank D'Addario Strings, Fishman Electronics, Gallagher Guitars, Bob Thompson Guitars, Rockbridge Guitars, my mama, my daddy, my wife, my children, my grandchildren, which I got to see all 4 of them this weekend. And it's really, really a good day. And it could be worse, but it's not. So if you know of anybody that's ill, keep them in your prayers and thoughts. Send them a card. And if you can, go by and see them. Don't do it while they're ill. And let's just be kind to each other. That's what I prefer to do. So I'm going to step out on a limb here and try to end it with this song. This is one of those songs where I got to split my brain in about 3 places, which is not very good because that's like nanotechnology. And thanks for everybody. Let me see if there's any comments here. Terry Price, hey, thank you, brother. Let's see, Linda Miller. I'm glad you and Dean are enjoying it. Man, you guys are awesome. Thank you for all the comments and compliments. Nate, I didn't see you ask for it, but I did it. Swamp Reed. This one here I co-wrote with a friend of mine up in Boston by the name of Don Kinney. And the idea of this song is I try to be an humble Christian. I try to be a performer, but I also don't like to. My dad used to call it shaking a tail feather, stand up in front of people and do that thing. I can't do it. There are a lot of entertainers who can, with clothes on, can do about anything, and some of them not so much clothes. But with me, first of all, if anybody's seen me dance, they would probably ask for their money back unless I was wearing my bear suit. And I don't like wearing my bear suit when it's 95 degrees outside. Even in here, it's warm. So, again, thank you for being here. Make sure that you go down and subscribe and click like and put the notification for reminders. And go to my website and sign up on my mailing list. I have a Facebook page or 2 or 3 or 4. And again, I appreciate y'all. when I talked to Dawn about this song, she said, "Really, this doesn't sound like you." And I said, "Well, that's part of it. It's not about me, but I want to push the envelope a little bit about what people think of me so that the contrast is there." So I want to send this out to Rick and Kit Crump, and thank you for being here, guys. Hope to do it again. Okay, don't be afraid to give me some critique. That's what I need. That's how I need it. It works better with a $50 bill. Oh, by the way, I didn't mean to bring this up like that, but it works. Segue. There is a link in the description to my PayPal.me account if you want to do that. I'm not asking for money, guys. I'm happy to just do this for y'all and keep us all away from going outside trying to find something to do. We can sit in our living rooms, in our cars, or wherever office is, and the garage, or out by the pool, wherever. I'll send this out to you guys. Thank you so much. Well, I've swept some floors, sold door to door, hauled freight straight to First Light. Still on the road, but now I'm delivering songs most every night. A husband, a brother, a father, a son, and my mama's biggest fan. It may be hard to understand, but there's so much more. All of this in just one man. Who wrote this in here? Well, I'll keep the time and run a bass line and pick the melody. Lay down a solid rhythm, sing a lead and play harmony. Write, arrange, and record a song with only these two hands. Or maybe hard to understand, but there's so much more. All of this in just one man. We've all been working hard for generations. Step by step we go on day by day. There's one mighty cause for celebration. Heaven's gift to guide us on our way. A Savior born unto this earth upon a starlit night. For many years he walked his path, changing wrong to right. Mocked and persecuted, he taught love throughout the land. I know it's a lot to understand, but there's so much more. For this one Son of God, he fed the multitudes with fish and some loaves of bread. Healed the sick, the lame, and the blind, that's what the Bible says. Crucified on Calvary, died but rose again, so we could have everlasting life. All of this, just one man, brought us all salvation. All of this, and just one man, paid for our transgressions. All of this, just one man. Sayonara, people. Have a good one, okay? Thank you so much. Bye.